Hello, welcome back to the boot camp. Today, I'm going to touch on a little bit of accelerated marketing, and I want to talk about some tools that you want to make sure you become an expert in as a real estate professional. So, marketing, I mean, this could be a full-time job, and it is a full-time job, out in the real world, not in the real estate industry. When the business is everything is up to you to do. So let's just touch on some of the marketing collateral that you should begin to create as you accelerate in your business. First, as I have mentioned before, I believe you do want to have a website. That is your professional presence, and that's the billboard where you get to say whatever you want to show your brand and share your benefits and hopefully attract clients to you. So your website, you also want to make use of social media profiles, whatever your potential clients are interested in. So Facebook, Instagram for sure, very common. I have, experimented with Twitter myself and with clients, haven't really seen much use for that. For the solo entrepreneur, it's more for communities and politics and celebrities, and then there's LinkedIn, look at that. If your clients are in corporate, if your clients are engineers in academics, if your clients are there, then you should show up there. But I will say on LinkedIn, people don't like it if you just post just listed, just solds, and all about your business all the time. So you have to study those platforms. And remember now, when you're on there, it's not just for entertainment for people, but you're actually wanting to build a connection with them, and maintain a relationship with those people that you already know. Now, for those people that you do know or are getting to know and meeting with, you might want to create something like a one sheet, a flyer of your services, something that you can give people if you're sitting in a buyer or a seller meeting. I have just a quick example here, but you might want to create something like a seller and a buyer guide, a map of the city, what's going to happen during the process, so that people who are doing this, it's not like people buy and sell homes every single day. So even if they've bought or sold before, they might not be aware or remember what the steps and the stages are. I like to put the recommended service providers in there so that they have a really good reason to keep your marketing material and keep it on hand for them. You also might want to have a folder. Now, this is just a generic one, from Staples or something, but you could brand this, and have it printed for yourself. Most brokerages offer, some really beautiful folders. So have a folder that you can put a package together, give to your sellers, so that you have something tangible. We want to meet people on social media, online. We want to meet people in person. We want to give them physical things, and do as many marketing tactics as you can. And then within those, it would be a good use of your time to do some research, maybe find some quotes that you love, quotes about homes, wealth, doing business, anything that's near and dear to your heart. But if you have, 10 or 12 quotes that you love, those are things you can put, in your seller or buyer guide. You could tuck them on your marketing collateral, you can post them on your social media. So you do the research first, and then you've got some marketing collateral that you can pull from regularly, so that it's not like catching up with you at the last minute. Oh no, I should do a social media post, but I don't know what to post. And for heaven's sakes, if you ever catch yourself saying anything wise or great or something that people will remember, make that into a little quote for yourself. Even business tips. I notice some people on social media doing a great job with reiterating what their clients have been asking them. I saw a doctor the other day saying, a lot of clients have been asking me about this vitamin. And he went on to explain it. You can do that same sort of thing. Some of my clients this week have been asking me, how much money do I really need to put down? Or is increasing interest rates going to affect me and how? So you can turn those things, so that you're not having to come up with new content, but you're just regurgitating the content that you're already talking about and you're already learning about. Like I said, this marketing for a business could be a full-time job. If you could sort of automate it in any way, you'll definitely want to think about that. Using some tools that help you to do, maybe plan a bunch of posts, all on one evening, so that you've done an hour of your marketing and you're good for the next week. And same with e-newsletters or any other kind of regular marketing that you're going to have go out. And for goodness sake, let me just say one thing about, please don't default to just copying what you see other realtors doing. It's already actually such an old-fashioned industry because, people coming into the business are usually loving to help serve clients. They're not always loving the marketing side of things. So they just end up copying what everybody else is doing. And nobody likes to see that same kind of a post over and over again. For example, lots of real estate agents default to, hey, this is just listed. Here's what's for sale right now, or here's what I just sold. And with no other copy, with no other text with that. At least if you can just try and think for 5 minutes, if you're listing a house, what else could you say, with an opening photo that's not just listed? Give the house a personality, maybe. What if you had a photo of the living room all beautifully staged, and then put the quote or put the copy in that's, I'm lonely without you, a home looking for a family to enjoy, etc. Um, think about what will touch the heartstrings of people looking, not even that they're looking to buy, but just because you're wanting to stay in touch with them and impact them. You might have a house, not all houses look fantastic from the outside, but on the inside, they're awesome. You could put, it's what's on the inside that counts. So if you just spend 5 minutes and think about it before you put a posting up, I'm sure you could come up with some brilliant strategies. And the one support person I will say would be great to have would be to find yourself a good graphic designer if you're not one already. So if you can go on Fiverr and find graphic designers. You might find a local graphic designer. There might be someone in your brokerage who does graphic design. Your printing company might have a graphic designer. So if you could find someone who can take your ideas and make them look beautiful, that can be a really good help, even before you hire an administrative assistant. And on that note, I will just say beware of giving carte blanche to anybody that you hire to just post on you. Just because you don't have ideas, don't think that they're going to have ideas for you. They have their own ideas. And very often, when I've seen real estate agents give over the marketing to their admin assistant or their social media person, um, they're not always happy with it because they didn't give the proper direction. Those people need to be led by you, and you need to know those quotes that you want to put out there, what the pictures need to be, what your brand is, what your colors are. So I will just put that bug in your ear to hold those reins. And then even when you get support people working with you, to lead them, guide them, and direct them. I can't tell you how many real estate agents I have seen come into a printer's office and say, yeah, I need a seller guide. And what do you have? And can you just make me one up? Because they don't really have the ideas, but you do have the ideas. It's the idea of what you say out of your expertise every time that you're sitting with a potential client. You put in those guides and in the flyers and in on your website, that information that comes out of you in your own special way. So it just takes a bit of time, but it's time well worth it because you'll have something that will make you stand out and sound authentic. Okay, there's lots more reading and lots more direction in the printed copy for you to go ahead and read on this topic, and I will let you do your homework and do that. And just before I go, I want to touch on some tools for a real estate agent and things that I want to encourage you to get to learn and become an expert in. And so certainly all of your contracts and your legal forms, which might be hosted on a platform called Web Forms or somewhere in your MLS system on your board generated back end, you want to know, where are those forms? Can you make templates out of them and auto populate them with your name and your brokerage, etc.? Become an expert in that. Become an expert on the MLS system that you're using. There are quite a lot of different ones. And so whatever your board is offering you right now, don't just take the introductory course so that you learn, the intro stuff just enough to get by. Go ahead and take an expert class and learn the functions that that background tool can use for you. I know over the many years in real estate, I have gone back and taken more training, and I've always come away with aha, I didn't know you could do that, and lots of benefits. So make sure, real estate apps, if you're using realtor.ca, there is a black icon for realtors who are members of their board. You should have that downloaded on your phone. Learn how to use it. It's a great tool to give seller reports to your sellers. Very easy, and it looks really good. So hopefully it would impress your sellers for you. I also want to mention again, I probably mention it a lot, but your CRM, your client relationship management system, it is your online address book, and there's so many available, but deciding on a good real estate one, learning it and learning how to use it will be a good benefit to you. This is something, if you start right from the beginning, it will grow with you. I always say your database is your gold mine, but you're the one that has to put the gold in. So you just using it simply is going to be the best. If you want to get into tools and more of the what's it called? The bling, the sparkles, the bells and whistles that it has to offer, that's fine if you're tech savvy. But clients, full contact info, keeping it updated, having a place to keep your notes. So you or your assistant can go back anytime and read about those clients. Did they refer somebody or did someone refer them? You might want to keep track of that as well. And then being able to send notifications to yourself. So scheduling in, when is their CS day? When is their possession day? And when do I want to call them and talk to them next time, so that it gets emailed to you. All of the good CRMs should have those functions. And if you would just use those to their full capacity, you'll be doing a really good job doing yourself a favor for sure. And then there's lots of platform online tools that change regularly and new ones come up regularly. I will encourage you to do some research on things like MailChimp or Constant Contact. Those are mass email platforms. So maybe you could on most CRMs mass email right out of them if you get to learn them, but you might prefer to have an email list somewhere else. Scheduling, like I was talking about, your social media platforms like Later, Planoly. There might be other Instagram platforms, and you can link Facebook to them as well. And then, of course, now we have Meta for business. That's changing all the time. It is your job to get on there and learn and see what you can do. And for Facebook, for sure, you can boost posts, and you'll want to do that for sellers when you do have a listing come up. But you've got to make that business page, and then you've got to learn how to do an ad. And you probably want to put your pixel on there so that people who are clicking, you can retarget and market to them. So these are all things that you need to just learn and understand the tools a little bit. Trello, I have heard a lot of people in social media like to use that to plan out their social media. So there's lots of online tools. And when you're going through your business and you're going down these rabbit holes of research and planning and social media, you also might want to have something like a timer. I use one called Hubstaff, where you can just click a timer and see how long you've spent on something. Make sure that you're not overdoing it or underdoing it. And of course, the number one thing you would want to time yourself on is making sure you're doing lead generating, where you're reaching out one on one with personal emails or phone calls, even texts to direct people and just staying in touch with them. So that's a lot to think about. Thanks for joining me on this session, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.